Hi there, welcome back. Disrespect can leave you feeling small, frustrated, and powerless. Whether it's subtle dismissiveness or outright rude behavior, navigating these moments isn't always easy. But here's the good news. You don't have to let disrespect control your emotions or dictate your actions. By turning to Stoic philosophy, you can respond to disrespect with strength, dignity, and calm. In this expanded guide, we'll dive deeper into 5 transformative Stoic-inspired strategies to help you reclaim your power and set boundaries that command respect. 1. Embrace the silent stare. The silent stare is one of the simplest yet most effective tools for dealing with disrespect. Imagine someone throwing a sarcastic comment your way, expecting you to get flustered, argue, or explain yourself. Now, picture yourself instead meeting their gaze calmly, without saying a word. That quiet, unwavering look can speak louder than any comeback ever could. Why the silent stare? Work's disrespect often thrives on reaction. When someone disrespects you, they're typically fishing for an emotional response, whether it's anger, defensiveness, or insecurity. The silent stare flips the script. By refusing to engage, you send a clear message: I see what you're doing, but I won't stoop to your level. The stare unsettles people because it holds up a metaphorical mirror to their actions. It forces them to confront their behavior without the distraction of your reaction. This is especially effective against those who rely on emotional manipulation or thrive on drama. Real-life application. Let's say you're in a meeting and a colleague undermines your input with a dismissive comment. Instead of reacting immediately, turn to them and hold their gaze steadily, your expression calm but firm. Let the silence hang for a moment before moving on. Chances are they'll be caught off guard and think twice before trying to undercut you again. This isn't about intimidation or aggression. The silent stare is a quiet assertion of your self-respect. It says, I'm not here to play your game. A personal story. Years ago, I was at a family event where one relative had a habit of criticizing everything. People's choices, appearances, even their stories. When he turned his sharp words on me, I decided not to argue or defend myself. Instead, I met his gaze, silent and steady. At first, he smirked, expecting me to snap back. But as the silence stretched, he grew visibly uncomfortable. Within seconds, he was fumbling for words and eventually fell silent. For the rest of the evening, he avoided targeting me altogether. That one moment taught me the power of non-reactivity. Instead of letting his words affect me, I stood firm in my dignity. How it strengthens you. The silent stare isn't just about silencing others, it's about empowering yourself. It trains you to stay composed under pressure and reminds you that other people's behavior doesn't have to dictate your emotions. Over time, this practice builds inner strength and boosts your self-respect. 2. Use silence as your response. In a world that seems addicted to noise and confrontation, silence is a rare and powerful tool. While the silent stare communicates volumes through nonverbal cues, choosing silence as your response elevates this strategy. When faced with disrespect, criticism, or negativity, saying nothing at all can be the most commanding statement you make. The misunderstood power of silence. Silence is often misjudged as a sign of weakness or passivity. To some, staying quiet may look like you're conceding defeat or avoiding the issue. But in reality, true silence is neither weak nor passive. It's an intentional act of self-control. When someone attempts to provoke you, they expect a reaction. A heated rebuttal, a defensive explanation, or even an eye roll gives them the validation they seek. But when you choose to stay silent, you flip the script entirely. Without a reaction, they're left grappling with the weight of their own words. This unexpected response often causes them to reflect, or at the very least, feel uncomfortable. Imagine this. Someone throws a ball at you, expecting you to catch it and throw it back. If you simply let the ball drop, they're left standing there, unsure of what to do next. That's the power of silence. It disrupts the usual pattern of engagement and forces others to confront their own behavior. A common trap: the need to defend yourself. It's natural to feel the urge to defend yourself when someone challenges or disrespects you. After all, we want to be understood and validated. But here's the thing. Defending yourself to someone who's determined to misunderstand or belittle you is a losing game. The Stoics teach us that our peace shouldn't hinge on the opinions of others. By refusing to engage, you're asserting your worth without wasting words. Silence becomes a quiet declaration. I don't need to justify myself to anyone. A personal example. I once had a coworker who had a knack for undercutting others with backhanded compliments. Every team meeting was peppered with his snide remarks and thinly veiled criticism. At first, I'd respond with explanations or counter-arguments, hoping to clarify my stance or win him over. Instead, his remarks only grew sharper. One day, I decided to try something different. During a meeting, when he made yet another snarky comment about my presentation, I stayed completely silent. I didn't look flustered or defensive. I simply let his words hang in the air. The silence was palpable, and all eyes shifted to him. He fidgeted uncomfortably, mumbled something, and the meeting moved on. Over time, he stopped targeting me entirely. That experience taught me that silence is often more impactful than words. It puts the responsibility for the awkwardness or negativity squarely on the other person, forcing them to reckon with their behavior. Why silence is empowering. Choosing silence as your response offers several profound benefits. It demonstrates inner strength. Reacting emotionally can signal vulnerability, but silence shows that you're calm, composed, and in control. It takes immense confidence to resist the urge to respond. It protects your energy. Arguments and justifications drain your emotional reserves. Silence, on the other hand, conserves your energy for the things that truly matter. It shifts the power dynamic. When someone expects a reaction and doesn't get one, the power they hope to gain vanishes. Silence leaves them holding their negativity alone. It encourages reflection. Without your response to distract them, the other person is more likely to reflect on their own words or actions. Using silence. Intentionally, silence isn't about ignoring an issue or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about addressing it on your terms, with dignity and poise. Here's how to incorporate silence effectively. Pause before reacting. When someone says something disrespectful, resist the immediate urge to respond. Instead, take a deep breath and assess whether their comment even deserves your attention. Let the moment linger. Don't rush to fill the awkwardness. Allow the other person to sit with the silence. It's often more uncomfortable for them than for you. Pair silence with body language. A calm, confident posture or a steady gaze can amplify your silence, making your point even clearer. Silence is your way of saying, I value my peace too much to engage with negativity. It's not about ignoring others, it's about prioritizing yourself. In the end, silence speaks louder than any words ever could.
Dear listeners, we want to use your opinions as guidance for our videos, so you can send us your positive or negative opinions in the comments section. If your opinion about our content is positive, you can write 0 if not 1 in the comments section. I also see that we have new subscribers who have just joined us. We would like to welcome you with a sweet welcome. Can those who have just subscribed write I subscribed in the comments section?
3. Stop explaining your choices. How often do you catch yourself justifying your decisions? Whether it's a career switch, setting a personal boundary, or choosing a simple preference, it's all too common for others to expect explanations. However, here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. Stoic philosophy reminds us that our choices are ours alone, and defending them to others often does more harm than good. The trap of over-explaining. It's easy to fall into the habit of over-explaining. It might feel polite or even necessary, especially when faced with someone's questioning look or prying curiosity. But what seems like a way to clarify your intentions often backfires. When you over-explain, you invite criticism and doubt. Instead of providing closure, your explanations can open the floodgates to opinions, unsolicited advice, and even judgment. Worse still, hearing these doubts can make you second-guess your own decisions. Imagine planting a tree in your garden. Do you need to explain to every passerby why you chose that spot or that particular tree? No, because it's your garden, and you've made a choice that feels right for you. The same principle applies to your life. A bold shift. Saying less. Adopting a less is more approach can be transformative. When someone asks, "Why are you doing this?" try responding with a simple yet confident phrase like, "It felt right. It's what I wanted. Because I decided to." This approach asserts your autonomy and signals that your decisions aren't open for debate. Not every choice requires a thesis explanation. Keeping it short, sweet, and firm lets others know that you stand by your choices without needing their approval. A personal story. When I decided to leave a secure, high-paying job to chase my dream of building a creative business, nearly everyone around me raised questions. They asked if I was sure, pointed out the risks, and wanted to know my backup plan. At first, I tried to justify my decision, explaining my savings strategy, long-term goals, and reasons for my dissatisfaction at my old job. But no matter how logical my explanations were, the skepticism lingered. But what if it doesn't work out? Won't you regret leaving such a stable career? The constant questions wore me down. Then I realized something. No matter how much I explained, I wasn't going to win everyone over. I started responding differently. When someone asked, "Why did you leave your job?" I'd simply say, "Because it's what I wanted." That was it. And you know what? The conversations became shorter, and the doubts faded away. I felt lighter, stronger, and more in control of my own narrative. Why it's liberating. Choosing not to explain your decisions liberates you from the endless cycle of seeking validation. It's a subtle yet powerful way of reclaiming your authority over your own life. Here's what happens when you stop explaining. You take back control. Our choices no longer feel like they're up for debate. You gain confidence. Trusting your instincts becomes easier when you don't rely on others' approval. You preserve energy. Instead of exhausting yourself defending your decisions, you can focus on making them work. Ultimately, living unapologetically is a declaration of self-respect. You don't need to explain your path to anyone, it's your journey, and your reasons are enough. 4. Keep your distance. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in the story of your life. While it's natural to want to maintain connections, some relationships come at too high a cost. If someone repeatedly disrespects your boundaries, undermines your confidence, or drains your emotional energy, it's not just okay to create distance, it's essential for your well-being. Why distance matters. Choosing to keep your distance isn't an act of hostility, nor is it about holding grudges or avoiding conflict. Instead, it's a conscious decision to protect your mental and emotional health. Every person in your life either contributes to your growth or holds you back. By limiting access to those who bring negativity, you create space for supportive, uplifting relationships to thrive. Think of it this way. Your energy is like a garden. If you allow toxic people to overrun it, they'll choke out the good things trying to grow. Distance isn't about cutting people off abruptly. It's about prioritizing your peace and ensuring your inner garden flourishes. A practical approach. Creating distance doesn't mean being rude or completely severing ties unless absolutely necessary. It's about shifting the balance in favor of relationships that serve you better. Here's how you can start. Decline invitations with grace. Politely excuse yourself from gatherings or interactions where you feel drained or disrespected. A simple, "I can't make it this time," is enough. Share less. Be mindful of how much personal information you share with people who may misuse it. Keep the conversation light and surface level. Set clear boundaries. Be firm about what behavior you will and won't accept. For example, if someone speaks to you disrespectfully, calmly let them know that it's unacceptable and that you'll step away if it continues. Redirect your energy. Invest more time in activities, hobbies, and people who bring you joy and fulfillment. The deeper lesson. When you choose to create distance, you're sending a profound message, not just to others, but to yourself. I respect myself enough to protect my peace. This act of self-respect builds confidence and reinforces your self-worth. It's important to remember that prioritizing yourself doesn't make you selfish. It makes you strong. Distance allows you to nurture the relationships that matter most, while protecting your emotional energy from unnecessary harm. By maintaining this balance, you're taking an active step toward living a healthier, happier life. One where you're surrounded by positivity, respect, and mutual support. 5. Hold your head high. Disrespect can make you feel small, but how you carry yourself can change everything. Disrespect has a way of seeping into your psyche, making you question your worth and even how you present yourself. It's a subtle but powerful force, and if left unchecked, it can diminish your confidence and self-esteem. But here's the good news. You have the power to flip the script. By holding your head high, both physically and mentally, you reclaim your sense of dignity and show the world that you value yourself, regardless of how others treat you. This small yet transformative act serves as a silent declaration of your self-worth, sending an unshakable message to anyone who tries to tear you down. The psychology of posture. Your body language speaks volumes, often louder than words. When you stand tall with your shoulders back and your head held high, you project confidence, resilience, and strength, even if you're feeling vulnerable inside. What science says. Research in psychology and neuroscience has consistently shown a strong connection between posture and emotional state. Adopting a confident stance, even when you don't feel confident, can actually change your internal state. This is called the embodied cognition effect, where the way you hold your body can influence your thoughts and emotions. Standing tall also communicates nonverbal cues to others, signaling that you're self-assured and in control. Think of it as wearing your inner strength on the outside. It's hard for others to overlook. A practical reminder. Next time you're feeling small in the face of disrespect, take a moment to focus on your posture. Straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back, and lift your chin slightly. This simple adjustment not only boosts your confidence, but also sends a clear signal to others. I won't be diminished by your words or actions. My own experience. There was a time when I worked alongside someone who made it their mission to undermine me. Their comments weren't overtly cruel, but they were sharp enough to sting. Little digs designed to make me feel less capable and question my place in the room. For months, I tried to avoid this person. I kept my head down, literally and figuratively, thinking that if I didn't engage, they'd stop. But all that accomplished was making me feel even smaller, like I was conceding to their narrative about me. One day, I decided enough was enough. I walked into a meeting with my head high, my shoulders back, and a deliberate air of confidence. When they made their usual snide remark, I didn't flinch or look away. I met their gaze calmly, smiled faintly, and continued with my point, as if their comment didn't exist. To my surprise, their behavior shifted almost instantly. They seemed unsure, even rattled. Over the following weeks, their attempts to belittle me grew less frequent until they stopped altogether. That experience taught me that how I carry myself influences how others perceive me, and more importantly, how I perceive myself. Standing tall reminded me of my worth, regardless of anyone else's opinion. Why this works. Confidence is a game changer, especially when dealing with disrespect. But the beauty of it is this. You don't need to feel confident to project confidence. Simply holding your head high and presenting yourself with self-assurance can create a powerful ripple effect, both internally and externally. Here's why. 1. It disrupts the power dynamic. Disrespectful people often feed off the reactions they provoke. When you respond with quiet confidence instead of shrinking or reacting, you deny them the power they're seeking. 2. It sends a silent message. Standing tall says, I value myself too much to be brought down by your negativity. It's a form of nonverbal boundary setting that makes others think twice before trying to tear you down again. 3. It boosts your own resilience. The simple act of holding your head high can shift your mindset from defensive to empowered. Over time, this habit strengthens your sense of self-worth, reinforcing the belief that you are capable and deserving of respect. 4. It cultivates respect. People are naturally drawn to confidence. When you carry yourself with dignity, you command attention and respect, even from those who initially underestimated you. How to make it a habit. If standing tall doesn't come naturally, don't worry. It's a skill you can develop over time. Here are some practical steps to help. Practice in private. Stand in front of a mirror and experiment with different postures. Notice how standing tall makes you feel compared to slouching or looking down. Use physical reminders. Set alerts on your phone or leave sticky notes around your workspace with phrases like "stand tall" or "head high." Pair it with affirmations. As you adjust your posture, repeat affirmations like "I am worthy of respect" or "I am strong and confident." Start small. Practice standing tall during low-stakes situations, like walking into a coffee shop or waiting in line. Build confidence so that it feels natural in more challenging moments. The Stoic connection. The Stoics believed in focusing on what we can control. While you can't control how others treat you, you can control how you respond, and how you carry yourself is a key part of that response. By holding your head high, you embody the Stoic principle of self-mastery. You're showing the world and yourself that your worth isn't dictated by external events or opinions. It's an act of reclaiming your power, one step and one posture adjustment at a time. So the next time disrespect comes your way, straighten your spine, lift your chin, and remind yourself, I am unshakable. Final. Disrespect doesn't have to rob you of your peace or power. By embracing these Stoic-inspired strategies, you can face it with dignity, strength, and confidence. Use the silent stare to unsettle negativity. Let silence be your answer when words aren't worth your energy. Stop justifying your life choices to others. Create distance to protect your peace. Hold your head high and live with unshakable self-respect. If you found this guide helpful, like the video and subscribe to Stoic Herology for more empowering insights. Don't forget to tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's keep learning and growing together.